Hey, Coach Patrick Blennerhassett here from the South China Morning Post over in Hong Kong. Just wondering if you could talk a little bit more about Jeremy. You mentioned him briefly. What does a guy like that kind of bring to the dressing room and bring to the team? And just maybe talk a bit about the experience that he brings to a lot of the younger players.
Yeah, I've said a few times before that, Jeremy, I feel like he's a connector. He's been through a lot, as a professional. He's seen the very lows, maybe not getting drafted as a decorated college player. I remember him playing in summer league and, giving guys buckets. And then all of a sudden he ends up on the Warriors. And then, his career took some twists and turns. But he had some great time, obviously, in New York. And then kind of solidified his career as he moved on to Houston and the other places. And all that time, because I've known him since he was 17, 18, because he played with one of my best players at Menlo in AAU ball. I just root for a guy like that. People are not giving him credit for whatever reason or understanding what he brings to the table. And he just kept proving himself over and over. So when you have that kind of experience, as a player, and now he's not a young man, he's a little bit older in his career, that kind of professionalism goes a long way. The guys need to see somebody do the right things on a consistent basis. And he's not distracted by anything. He's all about taking care of his body. Obviously, he had some back issues. And, as you get older, those things happen. I can talk about that. But specific to him, that it was just professionalism. I see him in the pool. I see him doing the ice baths. He's communicating with me about how he feels, or maybe he doesn't feel too good. He did have to sit out some games. And at the same time, he was connected to our coaching staff while he was out. He was talking about ways to, attack the other team. He also was good about picking his teammates up, even when he wasn't playing well. It's just not about you. It's about the team. Like I said, it's just us. And so being able to coach him, like I said, it's been full circle. It's been a really nice experience. I've gotten to know him a little better. And I'm going to continue that relationship with him because I think he's a really good person. I think he's about good things, and I've heard other coaches say that about players, that player is about the right things. I believe Jeremy's about the right things. And it's been a pleasure to coach him and then have him be a leader in our locker room.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, I by no means want to cost Jeremy Lin millions of dollars or a 10-day contract. But every time he goes to that sideline, he has the Batman belt on. Was he 100% when he came in,
Yeah.
He was, or was he playing at 92 or 89 or,
I'm not gonna. I don't know if I can answer that. My take on it is, at 32 and a lot of mileage, nobody's 100% at that point. And so, and he's had to fight through some back issues. The thing that's 100% is up here, his brain and then his heart. He believes he can still play, and he showed it. He showed he can still play. Now he'll have to fight through, dealing with issues so he can be on the floor and be healthy 100% of the time. But that's any player, from a 19-year-old up to, LeBron. How old is LeBron now? Freaking 38, and he's still running, jumping, dunking on everybody. So those are things that you have to work on in terms of taking care of yourself. That's why he's such a true professional.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned that Jeremy played with one of your guys for way back for a long time. Can you tell us who that player was?
Yeah, that's Blake Schultz.
Blake Schultz. Okay.
Blake was All-American at Williams College. Played in NESCAC, and I'm proud of Blake because of people didn't believe he could play either, and he went there and kind of proved everybody wrong. And him and Jeremy, I know, have a relationship that's built on hard work and trust, but then also like believing in yourself. That's really important. So Blake is now a doctor in New York. Of course he is. And then Jeremy, look at what he's done. So I've been pretty fortunate to be around some really good players. And it just makes my job that much easier.
I just have one last thing is what's next for you? Is Golden State wanting you to come up and help out with the big squad?
Yeah, I assume that'll be the case. I was pretty lucky to be able to be around the staff throughout training camp. Like I said, I got to work hands-on with Caleb Wesson, Axel Tupon, Dwayne Sutton during training camp, as well as Alan Smiley, which I coached him before, last year. And so I'm hoping I'll come back and, be with the team and be involved in practice and be involved in the coaches' meetings. Steve Kerr's been tremendous to me. Same with Bob Myers and all the coaches on the staff. So I'll just, as of course I got to go through some protocol or something when I head back to Golden State, but I'm hoping to be back and help contribute to what they're doing. Maybe they can get in the playoffs and get on a run. It's nice seeing the way Steph's playing, but the other guys like Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins, seeing them come together and learn the Golden State way. So hopefully I get a chance to be a part of that going forward, and we can make a playoff push. That'll be two for the organization.
Thanks, Chris.
Got it.
Thanks.
See you guys.
See you.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll have Jeremy Lin up next. He'll be our final.
The road for Santa Cruz Warriors in the G League bubble. How was that journey for you personally? And what was the most enjoyable part of that journey for you?
The most enjoyable part was just being part of this team. A lot of great guys, a lot of great coaches, a team environment, a team culture, and just a chance to be able to compete and play basketball in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a lot of stuff going on. We almost forget we're in a bubble where there's COVID testing every single day, and there's food and there's access to so many different things. It's a beautiful place, and we get to just go to the gym and come back and compete and come back. And the experience was amazing, and I'm just grateful. I'm just as I sit here, I'm just really grateful, just knowing that I don't want to take these things for granted, and I'm not going to be a professional basketball player for my whole life.
Kind of just helped me segue into my question. What is next for Jeremy Lin after this experience?
I'm not sure. I think it's see what in the short term, see what is out there, and there's no other seasons in terms of that you could jump into other than the NBA. And so the CBA season and things like that are winding up, and so it's just waiting and seeing if teams felt like if I deserved or played well enough to be a part of the organization.
Also,
go ahead.
When you finish your question, also, what are the other projects that you're working on? Because I know we talked about your organization and things like that earlier in the season. I would like to know more about that.
I got a lot going on. I got a lot of stuff. I have a basketball school. I have multiple basketball schools with over 10,000 students in China. I have a signature shoe line and apparel that we're trying to tell stories and spread good values through and help a lot of underprivileged children. I got a foundation out here. I got a foundation that's doing a lot of work in overseas. And there's a lot of things that we have going on. That's just kind of scratching the surface. But again, right now, there's a lot of social justice issues. There's a lot of philanthropic work that I want to do, especially around Asian American issues and around the Bay Area. And so those are things that I'll be thinking about and looking at as I go back home.
Jeremy, Jim Seamus from the Santa Cruz Sentinel. When I'm walking around town before the season started and the Warriors had acquired you, a lot of people, the first name they dropped was yours. And if your name's in a headline, it's getting 3 times the readership. Is there, obviously, you have many fans. Is there anything you want to say to the Santa Cruz Warriors fans?
Just thank you. Again, thank you. I don't come in thinking I'm above anything or anybody. I coming from my background, coming from where I came from, the fact that I can play professional basketball, again, is truly a blessing. I mean, we're talking about, the historic numbers of, this hasn't been done in 50 years, 60 years for certain things. And so for me, I'm humbled. And the fact that people still, like you said, people are still paying attention and they care. And, they started broadcasting my games in Taiwan. They started broadcasting a lot of my games through China and things like that. And my family got a chance to watch this game. So the family members that were in Taiwan, and it was just like, it was just a web effect where, all of a sudden things were going on. And even with everything that had happened last year with China and the NBA, they still put my G League games up on broadcast over there. And I was just like, wow, thank you to all the fans. This is incredible.
And then secondly, since it was a 15-game season, I know you sat out some time with the back. Did you come back early? Were you 100% when you came back, or how's the body feeling now?
Honestly, I feel great right now. I felt like tonight, this is our 4th game in 5 nights, and Obviously, guys, it's one of the things. The first thing Axel said to me was just like, "Wow, how did your legs feel tonight?" I think 4 games in 5 nights, guys are gonna feel it. But for what I felt like it was, I was actually felt pretty good. I felt like I was moving pretty well, and I feel my body feels great right now.
Hey, Jeremy, Patrick Blennerhassett here from the South China Morning Post in Hong Kong. I just wanted to ask, having had a season under your belt with the G League now, what was the difference in terms of the gameplay from the CBA to the G League? What was kind of the main thing that you noticed going from China back over here about how the game was played and the differences on the court?
It's a whole different game because you're looking at over there's no defensive three in the key. The 3-point line is closer. There's a lot of zone, 3-quarter press, stuff like that. Coming back here, definitely there's a certain element of I feel like I thrive in the NBA rules and in the NBA system with a lot of space, pick and rolls and things like that. And so, it was very different over there. There's a lot of the lane is so congested. And then here, obviously, you have tremendous athletes, quick athletes, guys who jump really, really high. And in the CBA, it's probably going to be more shooting centric and, maybe playing longer into the shot clock, stuff like that.
One more question. You obviously mentioned working on social justice issues, and you've become such an icon in places like here in Hong Kong and Taiwan and China. I was just wondering if you could give me your thoughts on sort of some of the racism that people have been experiencing related to COVID and how you think that we can overcome this and get through it. And what are your thoughts on that?
First, it's tragic. It's heartbreaking. You see the headlines every day. A guy today or yesterday was yelling at a gym manager to go back to China. We see people who, are getting burned or stabbed or robbed. A guy sitting in a laundromat and 3 guys come in. And so, there's a lot of stuff. If you really want to know the stories, you just need to look it up. And at the end of the day, I think to overcome it, it's not, and I've said this all the time and I'll continue to say it. For me, social justice isn't only about the Asian American experience. It's about understanding every single experience from every single type of person and caring. And I think the first step is talking about it, which we are now starting to do more of, and not allowing it to slide under or not allowing it to be buried in a news cycle. We're starting to talk more about it, and hopefully, that's the first step. And so I'm proud of everybody who is trying to help in that and raise awareness, and that will help. And so, again, we're just going to keep pushing forward with it.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Jeremy, Nico Santiago, City on a Hill Press. As a kid who grew up in New York, watching you out there takes me back this season. What would be one takeaway from this G League bubble season that you're going to kind of take with you forward?
I'm just proud of all the work that my team and my trainer of 10 years and I'm just really proud because in many ways, the things that I was able to do here in a bubble, I've never done before in terms of the efficiency and the way that I shot it and the way that I played and different things like that. There's, a lot, and I haven't really looked at all of it. It's just people sending this to me in terms of wow, look at this or look at that. And so, in many ways, it's just comparing myself from New York till now, so many of the things and the types of shots and the different things that we've worked so much on. I feel like I got to show it and I got to see it. And that just makes me, I've been through injuries. I've been through a lot of situations, tough situations. I've lost multiple seasons to injury and stuff like that. And so to come out of here and be able to play in a bubble, I'm just it makes me happy to see the fruit of the labor that just me, but everybody, my whole people, my whole support system, that they all put through, because there's so much that they put in behind the scenes to help you.
Jeremy.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy, what was the biggest progression for you as a player through the games in the bubble, and how close you feel you are from NBA right now after the season ends?
The biggest progression for me is just playing with more pace, and control and taking and making different types of shots and moving the ball and getting us organized and things. And like, doesn't matter what I think. It's about other people breaking down what happened here and what I did and what they think. And so it's not in my hands. I am proud of the fact that I've been able to just put my best foot forward, and I'm really proud of the fact that I've been able to be a part of an organization. One of the biggest takeaways from me here is that I really was on a team that was about the team, and I love that. Like, I don't want to play on teams anymore where it's not about the team, it's not about winning, it's not about playing basketball and having fun and rooting for the guy next to you. Like, we did that here, and I'll lose in the semis with them any day, any night, because that's how basketball's supposed to be, and you don't always see that in the G League.
Jeremy, I thought we'd seen everything in Axel's toolbox, but today he had two nice behind-the-back bounce passes. Does that guy never cease to amaze?
Yeah, no, he's been a huge part of our team, and I think everyone's just like, Axel, man, just keep pulling stuff out, huh? What else do you have in there? So, I feel like if we had a couple more games with them, we probably would have seen some crazy left-handed windmill, or I don't know what he would have pulled out next, but he's got a lot in his toolbox.
Last one from me. I've asked every single G Leaguer this. What is something that you can contribute to an NBA team?
Down to the core of who I am, I feel like I'm a playmaker, and I care and contribute to winning. That's what it's about, and that's it. Like, both ends of the floor. I don't really want to get into it right now, just coming off of a loss, but just making plays, man, and helping the team win, and being a guy that brings people together. And that's it, and everything else, in terms of how I play or what I can bring, that kind of speaks for itself in terms of the bubble experience.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for joining all season. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Jim, thank you.